Don't visit Vietnam before you watch this video. In rural Vietnam, do not speak any English at all. Vietnam's crazy traffic is well known throughout the world. Vietnam has the second highest rate of road fatalities in Southeast Asia. It's also not as communist as you think. Vietnam is the best place to fly because it's long and narrow country. It would take you around 30 hours to drive the more than 1,000 kilometers between Hanoi in the north and Ho Chi Minh City in the south part. Even with a full month in Vietnam, you should expect to fly if you want to see all the major attractions in the south, center, and north. You might save a few dollars by taking the bus or train, but you will lose a lot of time traveling these great distances. Learn some Vietnamese. Locals in many Southeast Asian nations tend to speak many languages because English taught in school there. Anyone who works in a store, restaurant, hotel, or other destinations that travelers frequently visit, local people aware of English language because they think that working in tourism might be pretty profitable. However, many individuals in rural Vietnam do not speak any English at all, or if they do, it is really simple. You can find it difficult to ask for an order or the price of something even at restaurants, shops, and even hotels. To get around, consider learning a few phrases like Xin chào, which means hello, or Gamon, which means thank you. It's scary crossing the street. Vietnam's crazy traffic is well known throughout the world. Here, walk signs and white lines that typically indicate pedestrian crossing zones are of little significance. Motorbikes and cars will not stop for pedestrians unless they absolutely have to. You will need to be extremely cautious every time you try to cross the street because motorbike drivers don't follow the standard traffic laws like staying off the sidewalks, traveling the right way down a one-way street, or stopping for red lights. Generally, if you notice a gap in the traffic, you should start walking confidently and have confidence that the cars and motorbikes will wave past you. They won't stop and most likely won't even hit you. Nevertheless, proceed with caution and remember that Vietnam differs from your native country in terms of pedestrian rights. It is really cheap. Beautiful boutique hotel might be found for around 30 to 40 US dollars per night, and wonderfully cozy Airbnbs can be found for about 20 or 25 US dollars per night. Long-term residents in Vietnam can rent a house or apartment for about $300 or $600 per month. Buses and trains are both pleasant and reasonably priced. Additionally, using Grab app rather than a taxi will almost never cost you more than a few bucks to travel anywhere in the city. Food is also reasonably priced. You can have a substantial lunch for about $2 if you don't mind sitting on tiny plastic chairs. Rarely do even fancy meals exceed $20 per person. The average price of domestic beer in a can or bottle is less than $1 US. Additionally, you can anticipate to bargain a little bit over cost if you intend to shop for souvenirs. You will wind up meeting somewhere in the middle if you start by offering half of what they are asking. Always wear a helmet. It's the law. Vietnam passed a thorough obligatory helmet regulations in December 2007 in an effort to reduce the number of road fatalities there. Vietnam has the second highest rate of road fatalities in Southeast Asia, and here motorcyclists are much more widespread than cars, making up 95% of all registered vehicles. Use Grab, not taxis. Speaking of Grab, you should intend to use it in place of taxis. The Uber in Southeast Asia is Grab. To find a driver whenever you need a ride, just download the application. You have the choice of loading your credit card information or paying cash for each ride. In most cases, getting about the city won't cost you more than $2. Using Grab while you are in Vietnam will save you a ton of time, money, and trouble. Don't expect to walk on the sidewalk. Because of the numerous parked motorbikes and plastic restaurant tables that line the sidewalks, you will discover that you must generally stroll stroll in the street. It's also not as communist as you think. One of the 5 remaining communist nations in the world today is Vietnam. The others are China, Cuba, Laos, and North Korea. Vietnam has recently embraced certain capitalist concepts despite being a communist nation. Vietnam's economy is one of the fastest growing in the world, thanks in particular to free market reforms and the encouragement of entrepreneurs, leisure-seeking men, and busy women. On one side of the streets, ladies are engaged in business, while along the streets, you frequently notice a number of men relaxing on seat and enjoying cold beverages. This sight is a result of the fact that a few of the men who joined the military for the Vietnam War survived. Vietnamese men tend to be a little lazy because they are so highly valued. Watch your belongings and be aware of scammers. Despite the fact that Vietnamese people are very friendly, the nation is famous for its tourist scams. I come across by some of them, and I guess for many of the tourists this is the strong obstacle to traveling the country. If you don't keep your eyes and ears open, you can fall victim to scams involving false tours, poor accommodations, overpriced bike rentals, and taximeters. Never ever buy and take drugs. It's not Thailand. The next point, which is that while it might be legal in your country, it's absolutely forbidden in Vietnam. As a result, you might assume that Vietnamese people love weed when you visit Vietnam and see people with cannabis leaves printed on their heads and shirts. However, despite the fact that many other countries, including Thailand, Canada, and the United States, and also Mexico, have legalized marijuana is still illegal in Vietnam in all forms, including for medical purposes. These are the 11 things you should know before visiting Vietnam. I'm making this YouTube video to spread awareness, so please just travel with an open mind and a warm heart. I bet your best experience in Vietnam will come from your unexpected moments. Don't forget to give this video a thumb up if you find it useful, and to share it with your friends so they may benefit as well. If you'd like, don't forget to support my channel by PayPal, buy me a coffee, become my Patreon or sponsor. Your help will encourage me to do more interesting and entertaining videos for you. And also, you can watch a lot of videos about Vietnam on this playlist. See you guys soon. Bye bye!